Hello one and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for my next guest is this incredible director and actor playing the lead role of Hellboy in this fan series of Hellboy. I'm going to be giving him an ad into the live now with his co-star. So here we go. Hey
There
guys,
you go.
what's up?
Hey,
How's
how
it
you doing,
going?
man?
Yeah, pretty good.
Nice to meet
Okay, so what I'm going to get you guys to do is introduce yourselves and explain a bit about what you guys do, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
you. Okay, sounds good. I'm Ryan Kessler. I'm the director, and I'm also playing the lead role Hellboy in the Hellboy fan film that's coming out tomorrow.
I'm Philip. I'm one of the main actors in the Hellboy fan film. Help out a little bit of a stunt choreographer as well. Mainly just helping out with the cast and being the main actor.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the questions now. So for my very first question, with this fan film of episode of Hellboy, what was it like shooting for this very first episode of Hellboy?
Yeah, it was pretty thrilling at first. You know, the whole idea of the group was let's do a Hellboy. Right off the bat, there's already complication, right? You gotta deciding on story.
Location, character, who we wanted in the episode in the film.
Right. The mythos is so huge without throughout the universe, and we sort of had to pick apart with what we had to work with, and then combine it with Hellboy. So we sort of had the balance, and from there we started production, and it was a really fun experience, especially with all the actors and the cameraman and sound mixers and the just party of group of people, and it was a really good time doing it. It was one of our films that was a lot more smoother.
Yeah, I say Ryan did a really good job on the script with this one, especially when we were trying to he pitched the Hellboy film. We had to work smaller scale, but because of the much more tight knit story, I'd say a lot more character development, and with the locations, we got pretty creative, and we're really good at our fight. It's our main background, so we incorporated some of those too. So there's a good amount of action in this film as well.
Awesome. So for my next question, with as you guys mentioned before, with locations and stuff, how hard was it to actually look for locations for Hellboy, and what makes this fan series of Hellboy different from the movie franchise of Hellboy?
To answer the first question, location was a little. Like I said, back in Mythos, it's a very colorful world. You know, it's not earthly like. That being said, they are comics where it takes place on Earth. A lot of it is, and we sort of had to also work with the script, so sort of adapt towards the location as well, right? So we sort of were looking for, and you were talking to Brandon a couple days ago or a week ago. He was actually going to help us out with this production, as in terms of location, and he had this huge sort of backyard forest, tons of land, and that would have been awesome. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it due to unfortunate circumstances, but we ended up resorting to another forest area location, and a lot of it is also shout out to our editor. A lot of it was in post, making it look otherworldly in a sense. So that's like turning up color grading, just all that, just to make it look very different and unique. And as in terms of what makes the Hellboy different, if you want to pitch in a little bit and I'll add
on. Yeah, in terms of the especially with Hellboy, very kind of grand story. We got him coming up. A lot of the stories too, they focus on origins. So just kind of jump right into it, and we're focusing more on how Hellboy fits into the BPRD. So he is a demi-human. He's a half mutant kind of thing. So it kind of focuses a little bit on people will react to that while the BPRD is investigating these paranormal activities, and now we have something paranormal in front of us just standing right there, and we got to kind of deal with it that way. Kind of how Hellboy kind of wants to fit in too, because he was raised as a human, even though he's not human. So he, at his core, still a human pretty much, but he's still trying to figure out place.
Awesome. So for my next question, this is actually for Philip this time. What character are you playing? If you can give any details about your character.
Yeah, sure. I play Agent Brody. No, sorry, Agent Lindell. Agent Brody's Marco. We have Agent Peters, Agent Lindell, and Brody. All of them kind of play a role. They're sent in on this investigation, the forest, with Hellboy as their backup, kind of like their smoking gun, their ace in the hole, if anything. And let's just say that in the beginning too, they don't very like trust Hellboy too much, so they kind of tolerate him a little bit. But as things progress, Hellboy takes point, he takes lead, and they kind of follow suit.
Yeah, we sort of worked a lot with making the characters, and the cool thing about it was they're not taken from the comics, so it was completely up to our imagination who we want these characters. So we sort of worked as, okay, if they were actually sort of from the military, and then they had an opportunity to join this mission group. So they all sort of worked on that during our acting coaching. We'd ask all the actors or the agents, where were you beforehand? How did you get here? Do you know these people? Do you know Hellboy? And it's sort of just as these fully flushed out characters. And I think you'll really see that in the film. Characters will hesitate to do things because he knows, oh, I know this guy. I don't want to put him in jeopardy, so I'm going to do this. There's a nice connection with these three agents, and we really want to because, yes, Hellboy, and that's like the grand of it all, but we really want to, if this is going to be contained, we've got to all have them all interlooped. And I think the agents really live up to the BPRD.
Yeah, we did a really good job too. Week of prep work, we would talk on set just in character. So you're gonna see a lot of like the camaraderie of the agents kind of come out because we really kind of worked on the fact that these people made it realistic as that they would know each other and work well together, not as just like friends that you kind of have on the street, but as like military operatives and as like agents that have your.
Awesome. So for my next question, what was it like wearing the Hellboy mask?
It's a pain. It honestly is. Yeah, so it was basically yeah, it's a mask and also a bodysuit to wear, and then you got the hand, and a lot of it was also less of prosthetic and more of actual face makeup. So it would take a long time to really put on. It would take roughly about 2 hours to get thing on. So if we were filming at 6 in the morning, we'd have to show up. I'd have to show up at 4, do them, and be ready for 6, kind of thing, right? But I think I told myself when doing the film, Hellboy's got to look right. As soon as the costume doesn't look good, the film is going to fall through, right? So if there's one thing we got to get right in this film, what look of Hellboy? He needs to look like Hellboy, and he needs to look, notch. That being said, we're also on a budget, so things we did were practical, and I really like how it turned out. But just acting in it, performing stunts, whatever it may be on the day in the suit, is just really like dreadful. It really takes a toll, and this was during the summer, really hot, so it's just even more the idea of just really just pulls you down. But you keep it in the back of your mind. This is for the fans. We put so much work into this. At one point or at some point, the whole idea of just being hot and sweaty and just tired just goes over your head, and you're in the game and you're just ready to go. And that's how I looked at it. But you can ask him. You just see me on set, stressed out.
We're there. We're planning our scenes. We're planning like what we need to do. See Ryan in the corner sweating buckets. We're reapplying makeup, reapplying the mask because it kept kind of popping up. We almost had an issue with one fight scene in particular, bit of a costume malfunction, but we managed to like move through that, put it on, because that was the one thing, especially when is if the costume broke at any point, then that was anymore. So we were very cautious of that, and we just wanted to make sure this looks good. That was the main thing. Even with Ryan, like this to look like, even though it's a fan film, we need to have at least Hellboy look like pristine.
Awesome. So for my next question, as you mentioned before, Philip, about the fight scenes, what were the fight scenes like?
We had shout out to Matthew. Right now he's a boxing coach. Really good guy. He's been doing our fight scenes like with us for probably since we started back in high school. So he really knows his stuff and really works hard and really kind of figures out, okay, this would look good. So we have a knife fight in there. We have some gun disarms in there, and we have a big fight scene with Hellboy and the main antagonist. With those fight scenes, we kind of had it planned out too, where we showed up before in that week of figuring out the characters. We also would figure out, okay, how would these pictures look, how would this look. We recorded on our phones, and that way we have a kind of like basis, and we kind of when we were there, we did it, we shot it, and it was perfect. I'd say these fight scenes are probably one of the best we've had so far.
Awesome. So for my next question, why should people watch this Hellboy episode when it gets released?
It's gonna sound a little cheesy at first, but it's sort of like it's made by the fans for the fans, but that's not the main reason. It's a whole new concept. It's a whole new idea, right? We're taking a really Hellboy movies when they come out, and they're big, spectacular, huge monsters, huge fights, huge effects. But for a moment, let's just take Hellboy and a couple people and put them in a small contained story and just work with that. And it sort of worked on our end because I think we told a really nice tale. So I think people should watch this because it is a completely new, right? If you're a fan of Hellboy, it's going to be like reading a story from Mike Mignola's, right? Because Mike Mignola released short stories of Hellboy, right, that are like a couple pages long, and they're just small little adventures, and you don't really see it on the big screen, not as often as you would like. So in this, take that idea, right? These small contained stories with a link, and you can sort of watch it and appreciate for what it is, and it's nothing too grand. Just a nice something where after it's short and sweet, and you can at the end of the day have a good time.
Awesome. So for my next question, who inspired both of you guys to get into directing and acting? If you guys can say.
I'll answer for directing. I started as an actor first. I've been doing acting all my life ever since the beginning of high school and translated away after I graduated from college. So I've been doing it for a long time now, and I really like the dynamic of getting a script, figuring out a character, and doing my portrayal of it. You know, I really love doing that. As in terms of directing, that sort of came upon me during doing some other films where I'd have no choice but to direct, in a sense. And I do really enjoy it a lot. I do like the idea of coaching people on how to form character. I like taking actors that are lost throughout a script and not sure what to do, and I sort of guide them with them, right? But with directing now, I really do enjoy it a lot. For this film, as you know, I juggled directing and acting, which was kind of rough. But like Phil says, we did a lot of pre-planning, and that was a very extremely important part. It was just the pre-planning, because that on set is going to be very limited as in terms of me also directing, focusing on my lines, focusing on being in the costume and sort of just getting in the groove. So yeah, the whole pre-planning stage was absolutely fantastic, just in terms of me being able to direct them beforehand. But as in terms of directing how I feel towards it, I do enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, all of us, it was really good. Ryan gave us like a set. Okay, this is how I want the scene to feel. Kind of that out. So while he's rehearsing his lines, or while he's just kind of getting more into character, able to bang that out. In terms of acting, I've inspired us to act or to be in acting. I've always loved like kind of like action movie stars like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, Jackie Chan. Like those guys are really cool. So I come from a bit of background, just in high school. That's what I would do. So boxing, jiu-jitsu. And in terms of the fight scenes, everything looked fluid, everything looked nice. And then also taking characters too. So Ryan gives me a character. This is what I kind of want, and I can spin on it. And he can either be like, okay, we'll dial it back a little, or yes, a perfect idea. Let's go with this. And taking stories and taking arcs and developments and tweaking them and working them and putting our little spin on it. Like even our Spider-Man series, we didn't want to do just a classic Spider-Man. We put our own spin on it. Whenever we do something, a project, an independent IP, or like even like the fan film, like this Hellboy film, we put our own nap spin on it. And I think it really I like that a lot, that we have our own little signature.
Awesome. So for my next question, uh, with this Hellboy, with your Hellboy, what makes this Hellboy so different from the actor that has portrayed Hellboy in the movies?
Yeah, we sort of had to, we can't help but take inspirations from all the interpretations of Hellboy. So David Harbour, Ron Perlman, big inspirations. They're more portrayed on screen as the big sort of don't give a damn badass, right? And you see that a lot. I sort of leaned a little more towards the comic, and where, and I love my producer that helped me write the script. He's a huge Hellboy fan, read all the books, and he simply told me that Hellboy is really, at the end of the day, just human. He feels human. The way he talks is human. The way he reacts to things is human. But the only difference is that he's half demon. Right? Other than that, he feels like a human, right? You take off the horns and the red up and the tail, he would basically be just a human. Right? So I like that idea, and I sort of translate that to film where he's not always acting like the big badass and always having the last say in things. He's literally just human with these other humans that he's in a sense also trying to fit in. And I think that's where sort of the idea comes in comics, why he's so human, is because the point of Hellboy is he wants to fit others. So as you film in our short film too, that slowly, he's talking like him and he's reacting like it's more. I like to think of it as almost a little act, as in him trying to be like, hey, I can be like you guys too. We can all have a beer one day and it'll be absolutely normal kind of thing. When that's definitely not the case. So he have his one-liners in the film because that's definitely part of his characters too, where he has the one-liners. But I wanted to lean more for just a human character, right? Something that not quote unquote relate to, but sort of you can feel for.
Awesome. So for my next question, what have you guys learned about yourselves during all this COVID pandemic stuff?
Go ahead.
I'd say what we learned is that we really love like filmmaking in general, and I think given like the time, because when we usually do our films, we do a bit of prep work, but this one we really wanted to put like our 100% effort into because we're locked in COVID. I remember he pitched the idea, sure how we're gonna do this, how we're gonna film it, because even though like the script and everything took about, I'd say how long? 4 months?
Yeah.
Maybe to finally like figure it out. So we've known about this project for like a while. So while we were all in lockdown, we were still kind of figuring out, okay, like we're still practicing our movies. We're still trying to see, hey, Ryan, like how's the script going? He's telling us like great. And we're trying to figure out, okay, so where are we gonna film after this? Where are things gonna open back up? So really it was, to us, prep work is one of the biggest keys, because when we were there, filmed it and it was such a smooth experience, even with all the hiccups of not finding the right location in the beginning somewhere else, and then we completely scrapped that and filmed in a different course, and it still ended up being still had an idea of how the shots needed to look. So honestly, just prep work really helped us out, and having clear vision with everyone, not even just Ryan and himself, but everyone kind of understanding the director's vision and coming together, being able to project that on the screen.
I sort of took from COVID, sort of learned from COVID that if you're doing what you're doing, especially in the film industry, if it's friends or not your friends, have a good time, have a fun time. The whole time I was doing Hellboy, yeah, like I said, it was tired, the costume and everything, but if you have the idea of like, okay, this is fun, I'm having a good, you'll overcome all of that, right? You'll overcome budget, you'll overcome editing, you'll overcome just whatever is blocking you from getting the project done. Just having fun is really, at the end of the day, why you should keep doing what you do, right? And yeah, I had a great time. He had a great time, and everyone had said had a great time, and that's why. And I think that's one of the more important reasons why it moved so well, is because everyone's having a good time, right? Really see this as work in a sense. It's more of us hanging out and making a movie.
Yeah, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Awesome. So for my next question, what were the challenges like filming for this Hellboy episode, and how did you guys get through those challenges?
For me personally, just challenges, like I said, with student stuff, but I already touched on that, so I'll come up with something else. I think just
even pre-production was pretty bad. We had an old cameraman, an old like project lead producer. I won't get into too many details, but he bailed on us for other reasons, and we were just thrown up in the air. As Ryan was mentioning earlier with Brendan, we were actually going to do this short film with Brendan, and stuff ended up happening. You know, we just didn't contact him, or our main guy didn't contact him, so he was just right. So then we ended up needing to find within about a week another like cameraman, and oh shit, what are we gonna do? So we kind of brought it back to our like high school roots. So we said, you know what, really amazing editor, really amazing like shot like photographer, really good. So we ended up calling. We asked him, hey, can you do this? Would you be okay? And at first he was a little bit like apprehensive, but once he saw how serious we were about the film, he's like, okay, fine, I'll do this for you guys. Find locations, getting all our actors together. Everyone meets up like really early in the morning. We're all ready to go. We all get into our like our character method act a little bit, and honestly, it went super smooth. The location didn't work out in the beginning. We were gonna go somewhere else, like a drive. But we ended up kind of filming there on scene, and it all ended up working out. We were a little, at least with Hellboy, with the costumes. Some like sometimes he get knocked around and the mask would just fall off, and we're like, oh okay, because if it got broke, then that was it. So fix it up. We had to reapply. He's got to spend maybe another 10 minutes now trying to reapply the mask to make it look right, and now we go back into the fight scene. So there were some, but honestly, we had so much fun doing it. And even though Ryan was dying half the time, even he had fun. We got him some water. He was okay. And especially when we saw how these scenes, just without any like color correction or without anything, just the way the shot was taken, we were like, we got really like hyped because like, you know what? I like this. Like we love what we're doing right now. We're having fun, and this is looking really good.
Mm-hmm. A great thing too is, especially in the industry, is having those connections. And in life, when you have these connections, I believe in never burning down bridges. And as much as the first director bailed on us, you know, I'm very open, because at the end of the day, things will fall flat, but you should always have those, you know, just like for us, for example, yeah, like that horrible thing happened. We lost our director, but we still have connections, right? We reached out, and there you go. Because at the end of the day, these would be the ones filling in the gaps for you. So it's great to have. Yeah, the connection was great, but even more importantly was just the overall just having a good time, footage, being really excited about it, and just keep going.
Yeah, the passion people put into this project was really good. Everyone was super on board. It was really like, you know, making it look the best they can.
Yeah, and I always say like we wouldn't be doing this if we weren't having fun, kind of thing.
Awesome. So for my next question, what TV or movie franchises would you guys want to be in if you guys could?
I'll let you go first here. I know he's the big movie junkie.
I would, in terms of TV series, I'd really get something that's David material. For those of you who don't know who David Lynch is, he did a lot of weird, abstract movies, TV shows. And showing mine on TV was Twin Peaks he did, and I watched it, and it's just disturbing. It's just weird. Like I talked to my colleagues and friends about it, and some people can't even watch the show. So, but I love that idea. Just so out there, and all these characters that are they're just so like something you never see, and that's David Lynch. In these characters that are just so abstract and out there that he knows some people can't stand to watch it, but that's something that intrigues me a lot to get a script from like an episode of that. And I think that would be a dream, actually, to get a script from Twin Peaks or David Lynch, be able to read the characters and be like, what the hell's going on, but anyways, kind of thing. So that's for me.
For me, I'd pick like a movie series, and one of my favorite movie series is Kick. I love to be in there, even though they're not superheroes. They're still, you know, superheroes in general, because we're normal people, but we're still going out fighting. Sure, you might get your ass beat a couple times, and you get back up, and you keep doing this.
Awesome. So for my very last question, guys, so what new projects do you guys have installed that you are aiming towards after Hellboy?
To be honest with you, after the whole promotion cycle with Hellboy, letting people know that we're doing this. We got a lot of opportunities from people on regards to project ideas. So we have a lot of take right now, and I'm very much privileged to actually just say that. But for us personally, for our company, and aside from working with other people, we have this really big story that I'm writing in the background, even while I was writing Hellboy. It was just an underlying script I was writing as I was writing Hellboy. And I've talked to Phil and the other cast members, and it's a really different kind of series. It's a mini-series. And we're so infamous for our action films, and this is a whole different drama. And I don't want to get too much into detail, but it's a really great story with characters. And
I'll say that I've known Ryan's work for like a long time, and we've done our like kind of action with Spider-Man. Even Hellboy was a bit more drama, but a little bit of comedy elements in there. When he told me this story, and he told me kind of the 5-episode series, it still worked on a little bit. We kind of have like the main touching points we want to work on. I would get like goosebumps just on like the twists and turns in this drama and how much the stakes are. Yes, it's going to be called Sleepwalkers. Part of the whole mystery of it. Mm-hmm. As the episodes go on, you kind of realize that there's something more to the characters.
Yeah. So it's like you said, it was just it's a drama I want to do. That's it's really not out there, but there's a whole secret underlying theme to it, and you sort of unveils itself throughout the series. And we sort of took the idea of this song that's really popular by this group called Depeche Mode, and I sort of took the lyrics and translated it onto these characters. It is a very controversial sort of statement, but I like when people pickpocket at it and just pick through it and all. So the whole overlaying theme of it is sort of if God loves humans so much, why does he let good people die? And the characters are sort of living with that sort of psychology in their head. So that's just a little sneak peek. I can't really reveal too much, but very much later on we'll have a lot more details about it.
Awesome. Well, can I just say thank you so much, guys, for coming on to my show. It really means a lot. Everyone, definitely go support these guys. First episode of Hellboy fan film series dropping this week. So definitely check it out. And thank you so much, guys, again. Do you guys have any last words you would like to say?
Just quickly, thank you for having us.
You've been a great host.
Great host, honestly, great interviewer. So yeah, we're just very happy to be on the show. And I think we could just say we hope you enjoy the movie. It comes out tomorrow. And no point sitting around. Let's get a game face on.
Looks like Homicide missed a spot.
Shit! Contact!
I got sights! 10 more people down here. They'll just get killed.
We'll see about that.